A pretty awesome feel. Good story just dropped out of Hallis Hall today that has the Windy City smiling. The front office finally broke a crazy 10-year streak by securing a gritty fan favorite with a fresh contract. This emotional move locks up our depth chart behind center. Please hit that like button and subscribe right now. Tyson Bagent just secured his future with the Chicago Bears, signing a 2-year contract extension that keeps the quarterback in town through the 2027 season. This deal is worth $10 million, with a maximum value of $16 million once incentives are factored in. For a former undrafted free agent out of Shepherd University, this is a massive milestone that underscores his journey from the Division II ranks to becoming a reliable contributor at the highest level of professional football. He is the first Bears quarterback to sign an extension since Jay Cutler did so back in January 2014. A bit of history that highlights how long this organization has searched for stability at the position. The signing was an emotional moment for Bagent, who was visibly moved to tears after finalizing the paperwork, expressing a deep sense of relief for his family. It is clear that his performance throughout training camp and the preseason earned him this vote of confidence from head coach Ben Johnson, effectively sealing his spot as the backup behind Caleb Williams and keeping Case Keenum off the primary depth chart. And the more I look at this, it is easy to see why the front office felt so compelled to act now. You can tell this news hit the fan base hard, as fans are reacting with genuine appreciation for a player who fought his way up from the bottom to earn his keep. Is this the quietest way the team has locked down a core backup in years? Or does this deal suggest management is preparing for a specific shift in how we handle the QB2 role behind our starter? If you think this contract signals a change in our long-term offensive philosophy, what specific stat or game situation makes you feel that way? The real motivation behind this commitment stems from the front office wanting to solidify the roster hierarchy well before the regular season kicks into high gear. By locking up this backup position, management avoids the typical midseason uncertainty that has plagued this franchise far too often in recent memory. You might wonder if this financial move was always the plan, but the team clearly viewed the former Shepherd University standout as the superior option compared to the veteran presence of Case Keenum. With a total contract value hitting that $16 million ceiling through incentives, we are seeing a level of investment in a secondary signal caller that simply was not there for years. Does this level of spending guarantee a more stable outcome if our starter misses time? Here's the thing nobody wants to say. Trusting a developmental talent with that much cash is a gamble. Yet the organization is betting on the consistency he displayed throughout his rigorous training camp performance. Historical parallels are hard to find because the team has been cycling through options for so long, making this specific agreement with a former undrafted player feel like a departure from their standard operating procedure. It is essentially an insurance policy wrapped in a multi-year commitment, reflecting a change in how our coaches evaluate internal depth versus external signings. Honestly, seeing a player reach this point after coming from such a small program is the kind of grit that earns respect in this locker room. Whether this investment pays off on the field remains the biggest question. But the front office has clearly decided that keeping this specific arm in our facility for the next few years is worth the significant salary cap commitment they just finalized to keep the depth chart firmly settled. So that is the news itself, but let us look at what it actually means for the outlook of this roster heading into the season. The truth is, this commitment is about more than just keeping a familiar face around the facility. By locking in a primary backup with $10 million, the team has effectively ended the uncertainty that often creates distractions in the locker room. Does this move finally signal that we are prioritizing stability over the revolving door approach of previous years? For the salary cap, this structure confirms management is willing to pay a premium for insurance, ensuring the offense remains functional even if the starter encounters a mid-season setback. I suspect this will pay dividends when we face tough divisional battles later in the year, as having a quarterback who has already internalized the playbook allows the coaching staff to prepare for specific weekly matchups without needing to constantly rotate personnel during practice. Opponents within the division are constantly tweaking their depth, yet we have chosen to cement our position right now. Some might wonder if that money could have been spent elsewhere, but personally, I think securing someone who knows the system is exactly the move we needed to bolster our playoff chances. We are no longer scrambling to find a replacement if things go sideways during a tight game against a rival. This signing clarifies our internal hierarchy immediately, leaving no doubt about the pecking order when we take the field. With this contract through 2027, the front office is betting on long-term development rather than short-term convenience. It puts us in a better position to handle the grind of a full campaign, giving us a reliable option who has already proven he can step up when the lights are brightest. Securing Tyson Bagent for 2 years at a $10 million value with potential upsides reaching $16 million creates a clear, defined identity for our quarterback room. Proponents argue this stability is worth every penny, as we now avoid the constant flux of veteran journeymen who never truly grasp the nuances of our specific offensive scheme. This is where it gets real. The financial risk of committing that much to a former Shepherd University talent is undeniably steep for any front office. Some league analysts worry about the cap space allocation, noting that with Case Keenum also in the mix during camp, management had a cheaper, proven veteran option waiting in the wings. Why pay a premium for a developmental prospect when the market value for seasoned backups remains volatile? Critics suggest this contract mirrors a bold, almost risky investment in potential over established reliability. Personally, I think the emotional reaction we saw from Bagent proves that his commitment to this franchise is genuine, which is a rare commodity in today's professional ranks. Does this deal truly justify cutting ties with the veteran competition to bank on a Division II success story? To me, it signifies that Ben Johnson sees a specific ceiling in our backup that outsiders might have missed entirely. Even with the financial weight, the front office is signaling a transition toward building internal culture rather than purchasing quick fixes. If you ask me, the move is a gamble on growth, but it is one that prevents the kind of midseason panic we have endured for years. While the skeptics focus on the total potential payout, I see a team finally rewarding the grit that took a former undrafted player from an underdog to a secure spot on the depth chart. We are betting on the long game. When you stack the details of this contract extension against the standard operating procedures of this front office, it becomes clear that the team is prioritizing stability and rewarding internal effort over expensive external solutions. By securing Tyson Bagent through 2027, the organization is effectively committing to a long-term plan where the backup role is no longer a revolving door of veteran journeymen. Honestly, watching a former Division II standout reach this financial milestone is exactly the kind of success story that brings life to our locker room. And here's why that's a big deal. This move signals a shift in philosophy that favors consistency in the quarterback room, ensuring that Caleb Williams has a reliable teammate who is fully integrated into the offensive playbook. For us as fans, this provides a genuine sense of relief because we finally have a proven secondary option who has already demonstrated he can handle the pressure when called upon. It feels like a solid, grounded investment in the future rather than a desperate attempt to patch a hole in the roster. Does this decision to bypass a veteran like Case Keenum in favor of a homegrown talent make you feel more secure about our depth chart heading into the season opener?